ASMR Gaming News. Greetings and welcome to ASMR Gaming News. Please hit that like button, sit back, relax, and let's begin. So, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out for the Nintendo Switch this week, and it's been receiving amazing reviews. It currently has an 85 on Metacritic. Not the greatest, but it has been receiving a lot of 8 out of 10 and 9 out of 10 reviews. Certain websites that aren't particularly fond of role-playing games, especially Japanese or anime-inspired RPGs, are giving it lower scores simply because they have some issues with the story, and apparently some of the gameplay mechanics are difficult to understand, and people aren't used to more complex battle systems. But other than that, reviews have been very positive. Lots of Nintendo fans are having a great time with all the amazing games the Switch has been receiving this year. We had Zelda, now we had Super Mario, and now Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out. All three of those games are amazing. Plus you have Splatoon and Mario Kart. This year has been a great year for the Nintendo Switch, and it's only been the first year since the system launched, so I'm curious to see what Nintendo has in store for the future. Some additional news regarding Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out this week as well. Now, a small warning. Some people have claimed this is a spoiler, although I don't view it as a spoiler, and many news sites have been reporting about it as well. This isn't even a story portion of the game. It's about a unlockable weapon. So, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has rare blades, which are essentially human-like beings that transform into weapons that you can use in combat, and they take on the form of various human entities. And one of these is a reference to an older Xeno game, particularly the Xenosaga series, has a very, very popular game character known as Cosmos. And yeah, apparently she is in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as a very rare blade in the game. She's difficult to obtain, so many players could actually go through the entire game and never unlock her. But they just shared this information this week, and it's really interesting. I'm a big fan of the Xenosaga games, so having Cosmos in this game is fantastic. I don't view it as a spoiler, but it is a very nice piece of news, so just thought I would share that along with the other Xenoblade Chronicles 2 news as well. Monolith Soft, their president, and Monolith Soft, of course, is the developer behind the Xenoblade Chronicles series. The president there was interviewed, and he basically brought up how he would like to bring Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is the game on the Wii U, onto the Nintendo Switch. Currently they have no plans on bringing this game over, but he is interested in the idea, and basically if Nintendo and Monolith Soft have a discussion, they would consider possibly porting the game to the Nintendo Switch as well. I'm not a big fan of Xenoblade Chronicles X. I feel like that game was a slight step down from Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. But, it's a new way for people that never experienced it on the Wii U to possibly purchase and play the game on the Switch. So, for that reason, I'm kind of open to the idea as well. So, hopefully something like that happens in the future. And now, to step away from Xenoblade Chronicles news, a big leak came out this week that suggests that Devil May Cry 5 is 100% in development. It's going to be called Devil May Cry V, with the Roman numeral V, and that it's going to be coming out next year. Apparently, they were planning on showing it at the PlayStation Experience event this year. But after Sony heard some feedback about the press conference at E3 this year, they decided to hold this announcement and show it off next year. So this is still a rumor, but apparently it's going to be a PlayStation 4 exclusive at launch, and then a year later or something they might release it on PC or Xbox One. And the trailer for this has already been done almost a year ago, so they have already completed the trailer. So right now, all we have to do is wait for Capcom to give out this announcement and release the trailer next year. And Devil May Cry fans are just extremely happy about this. I mean, there was a rumor like 2 weeks ago or something about Devil May Cry 5, but this is even more information now. It's part of a bigger leak. Apparently, some people on Reddit and other websites have spoken to journalists and insiders within the gaming community, and they all agree that they've heard about Devil May Cry 5 being in development as well. So we should expect an announcement next year, and I'm very happy about this. I can't wait to play a new Devil May Cry 5 game, or a new Devil May Cry game. So, apparently there is going to be a Super Mario cereal. Nintendo has teamed up with Kellogg's, the cereal brand, and they're going to be making a special Super Mario cereal, to promote Super Mario Odyssey. And each box of cereal is going to have like a special amiibo NFC chip, like within the box or something, that will allow you to use it like an official amiibo or something. So that's extremely interesting. I wonder how that's going to work out. So I've actually heard some people comparing this to what Nintendo did a while ago. I believe back in the 80s and early 90s, there was a brand of Super Mario cereal already. So Nintendo has gone full circle and has gone back to their promotional roots, where they basically advertised on everything. And for those that don't know, back in the 80s and early 90s, there were a ton of licensed cereal brands that lasted for a short period of time. Basically, every popular cartoon had its own specific, like, special brand of cereal. So it's very unique to see Nintendo do something like this in 2017 with Super Mario. So apparently it's like sweet flavored, like sugar-coated cereal, like Frosted Flakes or something, with pieces of marshmallow. So if you guys are familiar with Lucky Charms, I think it's probably going to taste something like that, possibly. It comes out on December 11th, so be sure to check out your local supermarket on December 11th, and hopefully you'll be able to pick up some Super Mario cereal. I predict that it's going to be a very popular item, and people are possibly going to buy multiple boxes of the cereal and sell it online on eBay and stuff. So definitely don't do that. But it's going to be difficult to get, I assume. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Atlas revealed this week that they are localizing Shin Megami Tensei 5 for the Nintendo Switch in the West. So up until now, there has been no official confirmation that this game was coming to the West. Everyone assumed it was coming because of course it would, but Atlas has officially announced localization for this game. So that is very good news. I just hope that, unlike Persona 5, which took such a long time to be localized, I really hope that Shin Megami Tensei 5 for the Switch has a worldwide release date, or at least have the release date be very close to the Japanese release date, because it's very annoying when a game is released like 10 months in Japan before it comes out in America. So hopefully no one is spoiled. I would hate for that to happen. And let's see what else we got here. Resident Evil Revelations Collection came out this week for the Nintendo Switch. I talked about this on, I think last week and the week before that, but basically, Capcom has brought over RE Revelations 1 and 2 for the Switch. In North America, there is a physical copy, while Europe is only given the digital version of the game, I believe. So if you live in Europe, you have to download RE1 Revelations or RE2 Revelations off the Nintendo eShop. They did not release a physical version over there, and I believe in Japan they received both versions of the game. So if you're a Resident Evil fan, you basically have to buy this collection if you haven't played this game before. I mean, Resident Evil Revelations, the first game, is fantastic. I believe it's one of the best horror games on the Nintendo 3DS, because prior to it being released and ported on every other system out there, it was a Nintendo 3DS exclusive, and it was one of the best looking games on the system. And it was a fantastic horror game that a lot of people felt was more of an RE game than other Resident Evil games, since Resident Evil 6 was like an action game. It wasn't a horror game like classic Resident Evil. So the game is good. If you like this style of game, I suggest picking it up for the Nintendo Switch. It has received fairly good reviews for the Switch. Apparently, if you buy the physical version, you have to download additional data. So I guess that's not really cool, that you have to have a micro SD card in your Switch in order to properly play this game. I know that LA Noire did the same thing, but if you have a big micro SD card for your Nintendo Switch, with a capacity over, I'd say 32 gigabytes, then yeah, by all means pick this game up because it's fantastic. And let's see what else we got here. A leaked email to EA suggests that a new Nintendo Direct is going to be coming out in January. So a lot of people have been wondering when the next Nintendo Direct was going to take place, because after Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which just came out, Nintendo doesn't really have any news for games that are on the horizon for 2018. So this news came out. Apparently some employee at EA accidentally emailed this newsletter to just a random person, and they posted this email they received online, and it shows that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct in January. possibly showing off some new games for the system and future games to expect in the first and second quarter of 2018. So I'm really happy about that. I can't wait to see what Nintendo announces for this new Nintendo Direct. I'm hoping for maybe an Animal Crossing or a Super Smash Bros. Game. That would be really nice of them to do. So, yeah, I hope that this rumor turns out to be true. Final Fantasy brand manager Shinji Hashimoto basically was interviewed this week, and he had a talk with a bunch of people, and they asked him what his plans for next year were. And he flat out said that next year is going to be one of the biggest years for Square Enix, and that they have multiple titles planned for release. So they plan on releasing a lot of big games, he said. Now, I previously reported on something similar, but this time he said that they have multiple titles and games and things that they haven't announced yet, and they basically want to continue with their franchises and bringing new franchises that haven't been out for a while. So a lot of people online are speculating what exactly he meant by this. It's a Japanese interview, so translating it is I guess slightly difficult because he used lots of terms that are very business oriented, but apparently Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out next year, and we know that Final Fantasy VII Remake has been rumored to come out next year, although we have no confirmation on that yet. And then they have Final Fantasy Dissidia NT, and that's all we have from Square Enix right now regarding their 2018 plans. So those are big games. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII are going to be huge AAA games when they release next year. I think they're going to sell in the millions. A lot of people are going to buy those games. But other than that, I'm curious to see if this means that there's going to be other games and other series. You know, maybe a new Chrono Trigger game. Maybe they're going to do something else after the Secret of Mana remake that's coming to the PS4 next year. You know, there's a huge amount of possibilities, so I hope Square Enix does something special. Let's see what else. And on the same note, there's been some new Final Fantasy 15 news. So they had a special 1-year anniversary live stream for Final Fantasy 15, and during this event, Hajime Tabata, who is the director of Final Fantasy 15, came out and said that they are planning on releasing 3 more story DLC episodes next year for the game. Now, there's already been 4 episodes for Final Fantasy 15. We had one for the character Ignis, Prompto, and Gladiolus, and this new story content that just came out is for Comrades. That's 4. Now they've announced an additional 3 DLC episodes that will be coming in 2018, and apparently one of these story episodes is going to be specifically for Arden. Arden is the main villain of Final Fantasy 15, and a lot of fans wanted to hear more about his backstory, so this DLC episode could potentially, clue us in to what happened in the game regarding this character and why they are motivated to do the things that they do and stuff like that. So fans are very excited about this, and I can't wait to see what they have in store next year for this game. I'm really happy with how Square Enix has been handling the DLC for Final Fantasy 15. Most games after a year are completely done with their DLC, while this game is just continuing with updates and new expansions on content and story. I really like this. And let's see what else we got here. Star Ocean: The Last Hope, which is Star Ocean 4, the PlayStation 4 remaster that I talked about a while ago, has officially come out now on the PlayStation Store. It's in 4K with brand new HD visuals. The game looks great, but the game itself, I don't think is that great, but if you're interested, I suggest checking the game out. It's a very ambitious RPG. The graphics look good, I'll say that, but other than that, it fails in the story and character development. I think it's one of the weaker stories in the Star Ocean series, and it is available for a very low price on the PlayStation Store, so if you've never played a Star Ocean game and maybe you're intrigued by the game or the trailer, you should definitely maybe check it out. So yeah, Star Ocean 4, check it out if you're interested. Demon's Souls, From Software's first game that made it big back on the PlayStation 3. Demon's Souls has an announcement this week. Atlas just came out and said that they are closing down all the servers for the game on February 28th. So on the 28th of February, all the servers for the game in Europe, Asia, and North America are going to be completely shut down. So if you have never played the predecessor to the Dark Souls games, now is the time to go through the game and check it out before they completely take out the servers. Just like in the Dark Souls games, the game relies heavily on interaction with notes and things that other players can leave in the world. Warning signs and telling you about secret spots or traps and stuff like that are very popular to do in the Dark Souls series. That came from Demon's Souls, and if you don't get to experience it before the servers get out, you'll never be able to. So I strongly recommend you guys go play Demon's Souls before they take down the servers in February. I actually have the game on my PlayStation 3, so I might even jump in and quick do some gameplay before the servers get taken down. And lastly, Persona 5 has a new announcement. So Atlas came out and said that Persona 5 has sold over 2 million copies worldwide. Now, to put that into perspective, Persona is a fairly small series that has only recently gotten popular to have sold 2 million copies around the world. That is a huge success. Hopefully this means that we receive a sequel, Persona 6, fairly fast, instead of having to wait another decade before they release a new game. So that's it for this week. We've, got into the period now in December where it's only like 24 days until Christmas and the rest of the holidays are going to take place. So game companies do not usually announce much stuff in this period of time. Now we do have the Game Awards and PlayStation Experience to look forward to. I assume they're going to announce maybe one or two very popular titles during those two events, so we have that to look forward to this month. But other than that, I don't think there's going to be anything big in the future. So yeah, thanks again for listening and watching this ASMR gaming news video. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter at ASMR Gaming News or on VidMe at ASMR Gaming. And I will see you all next